what's going on, guys? How are you today? I hope you're living your best life and you're having the best time ever. So today I would like to show you how to design a clean music player UI using XD. At the end of today's tutorial, you should be able to design a prototype like the sample you're looking at right now. So if you find this interesting, then let's get started. Okay, open up your XD software. You may need to update to the latest version in order to follow throughout the entire series of this project. That being said, I'll be designing for the Google new Android Pixel phone, so I'll select that. Once that is up, I will rename the title to Splash Screen. After that, I will use the rectangle tool to draw a rectangle. This will be used for my background, so I will rename it to BG. I will change the background color to black. Then I will import an image I got from Google search, which you can search. You can get any image rather, or any background. Once I paste that into my artboard, then I will draw another rectangle in front of the imported image, which I will use to mask the rest of the objects here. Now let's select all the layers, go to Objects, and select Mask with Shape. This will mask everything into one object. Now let's import our logo. I already designed something, so I will import what I designed, but you can use any logo you could lay your hands on. But I'll have to unmask this object in order for me to include the logo. Let's take the logo behind, then select all, right click, and mask with shape. And now we have our background with a logo effect on it. We're going to design a Get Started button. To do that, click on the text tool and type here, Get Started. Change the size to 25 points. Change the font family to Montserrat. And change the font style to semi-bold. We can change the color to white. Let's align it to the center. In short, let me import my color group in order to use same color across the entire project. Now click on the Get Started. Use the color picker to select this color, which is the hex number is F2DDDC. Then reduce the opacity to 0. The reason for this is to create an animation during the transition between screens. So once that is done, let's now duplicate the entire artboard by pressing your Shift and Command if you're using a Mac, or Shift and Control if you're using a Windows. Click on the title of the artboard and drag towards the right side, and then release the pressed keys. In order to create some animation on this prototype, I would like to duplicate this logo. Click on the mask icon to expand it. Locate the logo. Right click on it and copy. Then click outside the artboard and paste the copied logo. Then move it to the top a bit. Now let's select the old logo and hide it by reducing the opacity, or delete it if you want. It is no more useful here. Locate the Get Started button we created in the previous artboard and make it visible by increasing the opacity to 100. Then move it up a bit. Let me reposition the logo a bit better. Now click on the prototype with the first screen selected. Click and drag this anchor to the next screen. Under the action type, select Auto Animate. You can change the easing to easing in and out, and let's preview it. Alright, let's update the duration to 4 seconds and let's check it out. This looks fine. Now let's duplicate this artboard, rename it as home. Next, I would like to set my guide in order for me to align my design in a clean way. Then I will reposition the logo to the top right corner and resize it. You will notice that the logo transformed. The reason is because we need to convert it to parts. To do that, undo the previous step. With the logo selected, go to Object, go to Parts, then click on Convert to Parts and try resizing it again. This looks fine. Now let's create the search bar by selecting the rectangle tool and draw. From the inner nodes, these are the inner nodes. Click and drag inward to reshape it. Then remove the border and change the color to dark gray. Now select the text tool and type a placeholder. Resize it to 10 points. Style it to medium. Change the color to light gray. Then import a search icon. Change the color and reposition it properly. Let's resize the icon and align it properly. Group it and rename it as search. Now let's create our menu bar. Use the rectangle tool. Draw a rectangle. The width should be 28 and the height 6. Let's make a rounded corner. Now duplicate it and resize it appropriately. Once that is done, change the border color and remove the fill color. Now click on this button to flip it. Let's reposition this properly, and I will group all of these and rename it as top bar. The next thing I would like to do is to design a slider where featured music covers are rotating. So to do that, use the rectangle tool and draw across the screen. With the rectangle tool selected, I will draw another rectangle, give it a rounded corner and change the color. Well, let me import what I had already done. This is what it will end up being, but I would like to show you what I did or how I achieved this. So use the rectangle tool and draw across. Change the background color. Now let's draw another rectangle. Give it a rounded corner. Remove the border and give it a shadow. Let's reposition it. Now use the ellipse to draw a cycle. Resize the cycle and duplicate it about 6 times. Then change the color to gray. Let's give it a bit of a space. Now let's duplicate the slider as well. Okay, let's preview. So as you can see, this is what we want to achieve. But the second slider, you will notice the slider background is cut off. So let's fix it. Just select the background and drag it across the whole sliders, and that is it. Let's preview it again. It seems okay. Now just import your images into this placeholder and you're done with the slider. The next thing to do is to create our categories. To do so, use the ellipse tool and draw a cycle. Resize it and reposition it well. Remove the fill color. Change the border color to this color. Now use the text tool and type the following. Change the color, align it. Now let's group it and duplicate it. And we're going to rename it appropriately. Well, I already designed mine, so I'll just import to save time. The next thing is to create the bottom navigation. Use the rectangle tool, draw and resize. Remove the border, change the color to black. Then let's make it a bit transparent. I will also have to import my design. I already designed the bottom navigation, so all you need to do is to look for the right icons and label it appropriately. Now we need to create the body of our app. Use the rectangle tool, draw across the space. Now click on this vertical scroll button to make the space scrollable. I'm going to resize the scroll a bit. Now click on the scroll group to expand it. Select the rectangle. Now remove the border and the fill color. What we need to do here is to design 3 sections showing new release song, trending, and new articles. So now let's create the first section, which is showing the new songs. Use the rectangle tool to design a placeholder. Remove the border. Now go and get some covers from Google. Copy and paste it here. Now resize it, then align it properly. Let's give it a shadow. From this inner node, click and drag inward to create a rounded corner. You can also create a rounded corner by changing the value here. Now use the text tool to type. Change the color. Reduce the size. Duplicate this and rename it to the artist name. Now let's group all and duplicate it. But in order to make this scroll look like this one in the preview, we need to use the horizontal scroll effect. So let's draw a rectangle and locate this horizontal scroll button. Click on it. Expand the scroll group. Select this rectangle. Let's remove the fill and the border color. Now drag all of these into the scroll group. Select this rectangle and extend the width to cover the entire songs. Now let's preview it. I already designed my own section, so I'll just import it. Let me expand this. As you can see, I have my new artist here. So use the same process from our previous design to accomplish this. So I will just rename this section appropriately. Once you're done with the design, the next thing we need to do is to add animation to our screen. So to do that, click on the prototype, select the Get Started button, and drag this anchor to the home screen. And that is it. We are done. Let's preview our work.